A spot exchange-traded fund (ETF) is now undergoing approval in North America. In addition to that, President Trump has offered his thoughts on the Genius Act and the future of digital assets in the United States. A bombshell is dropped on us by Jake Claver, along with a plethora of additional news regarding XRP and Ripple. There is always fresh information available. Please come here if you are interested in keeping up with the latest news on XRP, Ripple, and other cryptocurrencies. According to President Trump, digital assets are the form of the future. Our country is going to be the owner of it. He is confident that the Genius Act will be approved by the House, and he will have it delivered to his office as quickly as possible. I think that the Genius Act was recently passed by the Senate with a vote of 68 to 29 or 30. Proceeding to the House of Representatives is the next step. Suppose the House of Representatives were to vote on the Genius Act in its current form, and if it were to pass, the bill would be sent directly to the President's desk. In the event that the House makes any additions or modifications, the bill will be sent back to the Senate for one more round of approval before it is sent to the President's desk. The bomb is dropped by Jake Claver. With XRP serving as real-time collateral, the potential value of the global derivatives market has already reached quadrillions of dollars. In comparison, the current financial system would appear to be somewhat antiquated. It is you who is in possession of the blueprint for the future. During the live streaming, we discussed this topic. We discussed this topic in the Krypton podcast. This was a topic that was discussed on this channel. A portion of these digital assets is comparable to having ownership of a piece of the monetary system of the future. It is impossible for us to predict how everything will turn out. The amount of value, the speed at which it will be added to the chain, and the change that all of that value will be added to immediately are all unknown to us. On the other hand, we are aware that this is a component of financial institutions, national banks, credit unions, financial institutions, financial market infrastructures, and businesses located all over the world. It is becoming increasingly clear to all of them that cryptocurrency is the future, and that it will unleash a great deal of value for businesses all across the world. And then there is Ripple, which is clearly their marketing staff. There is a member of the Ripple marketing team who I would really like to speak with because, gosh, you guys produce some really impressive stuff. The only people who can like this tweet are crypto billionaires. This is occurring with XRP. Simply put, it's so awesome, man. It's very wonderful. Not a problem. Sensei, what exactly is going on with the spot ETF at the moment? I am doing it. The XRP ETF has been launched by 3iQ. This is the first XRP spot ETF to be traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and it is named XRPQ, just as Q-tip or XRPQU. At the very least, there was the other one that occurred the other day. In any case, this is a positive thing. No matter who comes in first, second, or 15th, it makes no difference. The point is that North America is getting some means for individuals who are involved in the stock market in Canada to invest in cryptocurrencies or to have the capacity to invest in XRP spot ETFs. This is something that is happening. Q-tip, which is one of the first exchange-traded funds ETFs in North America to offer exposure to XRP, known as XRPQ, makes its debut with no management charge for the first 6 months of its existence. Ripple, on the other hand, is a smooth operator since it was an early investment in the fund. Their texture is silky. It's wonderful. You know, it is one thing to say that you are supporting the community or building in the community, but it is another thing entirely to actually show up every day and truly live up to the things that you have spoken. And that is what Ripple does. Moreover, I want to give them my cap. I am making this news right now. It was a historic rollout. 3iQ's track record as a trusted pioneer in offering regulated first-to-market digital asset investing solutions is further strengthened by this development. Having said that, I would think that their staff was the one who authored this, so please take it with a good dose of salt. I am not familiar with the background of 3iQ. In the event that you are considering working with this organization, it is imperative that you perform the necessary research. You should consult with your financial counselor. Having that understanding is of the utmost importance. The article discusses Ripple, a pioneer in the field of blockchain technologies. And last, here is the date of today, a pioneer on a worldwide scale. We are thrilled to announce the introduction of the 3iQ XRP ETF, which will begin trading today on the Toronto Stock Exchange. This announcement comes from the company that specializes in digital asset investment solutions. Incredible. America will also be the recipient of the closing bell that will be rung by their 3iQ team this afternoon on the TSX floor. I am unable to say it. There is no rolling of my tongue. You have it right. This momentous announcement. Investors in North America have access to XRP through XRPQ, which is one of the first exchange-traded funds ETFs to offer exposure to the cryptocurrency. Ensure that you have done your research. Of course, we would also want to extend our congrats to our neighbors in Canada. Very happy to hear that. In addition to that, there is some information that is now coming to light. With the launch of Alchemy Pay, Ripple expanded its worldwide presence. Visa was used to launch RLUSD transactions in 133 countries. Apple Pay and Google Pay are two examples. I wanted to essentially take this paper, put it into Perplexity, scan it, and just come up with any more information that I might be missing here, in order to provide you with some further context. The summary and the main points are as follows. Ripple has just made an announcement regarding a big cooperation with Alchemy Pay. This relationship will allow customers to purchase their new stablecoin RLUSD using a range of more conventional payment methods. This move is being positioned as a significant step towards the actual acceptance of XRP and its ecosystem, which will make it more user-friendly and accessible to people as well as institutions. In addition to the integration of Alchemy Pay, we also discussed Visa and MasterCard, Apple Pay and Google Pay, bank transfers and mobile wallets specifically designed for local use. From what I can see, that pretty well encompasses every single phone on the globe, including those made by Apple and Google. Apple and Google own a significant portion of the market for mobile phones, but let's find out how much of the industry they control. You know, there are certainly some off-brands and some off-names. It would be interesting to know. Not a problem. Institutional move Ripple and XTX, as well as XDACS with South Korea, are some further developments that we have to be aware of about this cooperation or this deployment here. Moreover, Ripple has formed a partnership with BDAX. The collaboration facilitates secure and compliant access to both XRP and RLUSD for financial institutions and banks. The partnership is a licensed cryptocurrency custody business in Korea. Through the implementation of this agreement, the door will be opened for mainstream finance to access the XRP ecosystem, which will result in an increase in institutional confidence and acceptance. What is the significance of this? Great question, and a really good question. It is now possible to acquire user accessibility using payments that are commonly used, which makes it more user-friendly for the typical customer. Utility and accessibility. The agreement provides XRP with a huge boost in both utility and accessibility, which has the potential to increase its acceptance and use cases all across the world. Institutional confidence. With institutional custody solutions in place, financial institutions and corporate investors may feel more at ease when dealing with XRP and RLUSD, which will pave the way for a more comprehensive integration of the financial system. Consequently, here it is, supported by countries, 173 fiat channels, and 300. As a last point of clarification, the answer to the issue of what the total proportion of Apple's phone sales was during the first quarter is 55 million. To be honest, I was not looking for the proportion on a worldwide scale. Have I failed to notice it? States of America. In the third quarter, Google's choices achieved 4% of the total smartphone shipments, surpassing Apple, Samsung, and several big Chinese brands. In light of this, the only option is to go with Chinese brands. I really hope you would, but Apple has 19% of the worldwide market for smartphones, and where is Google Pixels? A significant increase in these statistics would be 4%. In addition, I am working out why it is the case. Fedwire is the target for Ripple's positioning. In spite of the fact that this is an old document, the wonderful thing is that I can now load these papers into Perplexity and obtain some pretty interesting information. So the first thing I wanted to do was make sure that these documents are authentic. However, this is simply a very fast approach for me to show you so that you can understand what you are seeing on this. I have done this previously in the past. These documents must be authentic. This does discuss here Ripple blockchain ISO 2002 and a whole bunch of other links in a very short amount of time. In this case, let's check to see if we truly have a number. Was the information that it provided to me the same?